You know, we have been talking about children, parenting, in the light of everything that's been happening that we've seen so far. And a lot of people have been coming up with different comments, different videos. Everybody's handling one aspect of the issue or the other. So a message or a post on social media jumped at us, and this actor, Ruth Kadiri, was asking if it is okay for parents to flog their children. And our Auntie Nima here has refused to talk about this because we know that she's very much guilty about this. However, Reno Mokri also, in his own post, said that beating children has never led to discipline. If beatings worked, Africa will have the most well-behaved adults. And he went ahead to say that beating a child has never led to discipline. Rather, it instills fear in the child. If beating truly worked as corrective and disciplinary measure, Africa will have the most well-behaved adults. What are your thoughts on this?
I would agree with Reno to an extent.
Okay.
Because growing up, I saw people who beat their children at the slightest
provocation.
Not even provocation.
Mistake.
Based on their moods. So if it's a bad day at work, you come home and beat somebody. And so that's the same excuse why some people come and beat their wives, beat their partners, scream and snap at everybody. But for somebody who was deliberately beaten, they beat me way. Deliberately beaten as a consequence for certain things I tried.
Okay.
I wasn't a child who would play where everybody, I would climb. I would fall on my head. I would land. And my parents were, accommodating of that to a certain age. If I had a bad result, I wasn't beaten. I was talked to.
Okay.
When I grew to teenager age and I wanted to start to explore certain things, I was talked to. But for lying, I remember one beating my father gave me. I wasn't just lying. I was lying about something religious. For a Muslim scholar, that beating was till daybreak. My mother could not save my neck. This is my father that were closest. And the beating was deliberate. And by morning, the conversation that followed showed that he was deeply hurt and he had to mete out consequence. That took away lying.
From you?
Immediately. Because I did not want to see him in that state. Someone who never beat me, and, I was still hurting from even having to beat me that much. So beating, for me, was deliberate. It was intentional towards addressing me growing up. I remember my beatings. I remember them where my mother.
I remember the crime you committed.
I remember what I do. And I always say to myself, if I had a child as demanding of parenting as I was, I would resort to it too. So sometimes I'll be sitting with my child, especially the one that has several mothers. And the other mothers will be like, no, it's just a boy, it's just a little boy. What he's done is not bad. So me, I've learned. I'll smile with them. I'll say,
till you get home.
Bad. Even he knows that we are going home. There's a different cutting at home because I will sit you down first. I say, okay, you did. Just like my mom will say, 2 weeks ago, when your uncle visited, he was drinking coke, your eye was like this inside. And they remain for you. They say, bring cup, you brought cup. I'm beating you for 2 weeks ago. So you are clear. We know what you are going at. If my mother is beating you, no. You'll just be wondering, since 2 weeks, you never forgive me. So I do it with my child as well.
Okay, so I do not agree with flogging. And I was flogged as a child. And I will tell you that for many of the times I was flogged, I cannot remember what I did, but I still remember feeling angry because sometimes I did not think I deserved that flogging. And I also remember conversations we used to have as children, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer them to flog you or to talk to you? And we used to say, it was easier, please just flog us. And then we know that you're done with it than to sit down to talk to you. Because then if my mom says to me, I want to see you, oh my God, I'll be so weak. Like, so they're going to now sit you down and they're going to tell you what you have, break it down, what you have done wrong. And then you feel that guilt and that shame. That was much more, for those times that she sat and she spoke to me, I remember the things that I did, and I remember how I decided not to do those things again. But the times that she beat me, sometimes I felt rebellious, like, okay, let's go, She wants to beat me, let's, do another one, so you beat me again. It's just beating. And so for me, in my own parenting, I try to take that with my children, knowing how I responded to beating and how I responded to talking. Now, to be honest, with my children, I realized talking does affect them, impacts on them better. We're able to, than beating, back and forth. My husband is the one that is just quick. He will take a belt, he will, deal with it. Yes, but he's not like flogging, put your hand out and get these 5 strokes for this that you did. Take these 2 strokes for this that you know. I'm not.
That's
soft
flogging.
No, there's the one that you take belt to your
wire
face,
your face
your
everywhere.
neck.
That's
you see
abuse.
the child bruised and battered. Yes, and usually when you ask what the person did, he refused to wash pots. So for me, I knew that I did not want that with my children. But now I have a child that is 10 years old. And before, when I just speak to that child and say to him, this is what you did and this is, why? How come? The reason why, if it was acceptable here, I'm like, you're talking too much. And part of me is like, if I give you one, I mean, this conversation will not be happening. It's because I'm having a conversation with you. That's why you're
questioning me.
You're
How dare
questioning
you?
me. So I can now understand why it's easier to just go the way of the hitting. So I get how the flogging will come in. But as you said, so this is where I sort of agree with you. That deliberate on the hand, I will do that. But I would not, it will not be the first thing I do. It will not be the second thing I do. It has to be something you and I have talked and talked. And I also do this. They sweep the compound. The house chores will be double. What you used to do before, now you will get up and
community house service.
I'm telling you, community house service. They do that in my house.
Yes.
You will write an essay for me for what you did and why you did and why you never did. So all those sort of things we do in my house.
You're mixing it.
Yes.